Canada's Minister of Immigration declared a few months ago that Canada has made a conscious decision to be an open country, open the floodgates. We're going to be talking about that with Sabrina Maddeaux. First though, please subscribe, because if you don't subscribe and you don't donate, we won't be on the air and you won't hear about these issues because the mainstream news does not talk about that very often. But Sabrina, welcome to the show. And we talked earlier in the show about the foreign worker program, but it goes beyond that, because it seems that with this open concept, we are bringing in immigrants that have no skills, as opposed to what it used to be, is that people would say, we need more tool and die makers, or we need more nurses, more doctors, and we would welcome them in. How did it all get screwed up?
Well, the Trudeau Liberals have exploded our immigration targets. And like you said, it goes beyond the TFW program.
Right.
So they now have this target of 500,000 permanent immigrants per year by 2025. And that is that's importing, just in the permanent class,
right,
more than the size of Halifax every single year. At the same time, they haven't enacted any policies to provide more housing, more healthcare, more infrastructure. So we're just completely unprepared to accept this number of people.
So where's 500,000 come from? Does someone say, studying, we need, 100,000 nurses and 100,000 doctors, or they just sort of pick it out of the air?
It seems to be much more picked out of the air. Like you said, for a long time, Canada has a long and proud history of a really great and thorough immigration screening program where we matched immigrants with skills in needed areas.
Right.
Now we're much more matching it to, again, labor shortages when we've moved our focus away from skills. So there are areas we need immigrants in. Healthcare is one, construction is one, particularly home construction, but there's been no effort to really target the program to bring and recruit these people in. And then once they're here, to also get them licensed so they can actually work, right, in the fields that they are qualified to do so. And just recently, the Trudeau Liberals also announced that they're going to open up an entire new economic stream in the permanent program, where they're going to actually recruit and allow more administrative assistants, retail workers, food service workers, which we've never had in our country before as part of the permanent stream.
I know you're not in the cabinet, so you can't maybe honestly answer this, but where does this baloney come from? I mean, there's not a demand out there. People aren't in the street saying, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the more immigration is better ideology that hasn't been solved. I think there is a demand from certain business groups who benefit from it.
Cheap labor.
Yep, cheap labor, absolutely. It's helping to keep house prices and rent prices up, which the Liberals have shown they are very invested in doing. And on top of that, it helps with the issue that there are a lot of people in this country right now whose visas have expired or are going to expire. And the Liberals have shown no inclination to actually enforce our immigration regulations. So it helps them keep them here rather than having to deal with the tricky issue of what do we do with all these expiring low-wage visas.
And I have read that the government really has no idea where many of these people are or how many are here. I mean, if they wanted to, they couldn't round them up.
Oh, well, I think it was over a year ago, they had to come out and say that they were missing 1 million people who came to the country. And it is a data issue too. We simply don't know. And if you don't know, how can you begin to solve it?
What's 1 million? Sabrina, thanks very much.
Small number.
3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.